Question 21. An express train operates between two towns. The train pulls X coaches on first class and Y coaches on economy class. Each first class coach can hold 72 passengers, while each economy class coach can hold 120 passengers. A. Write down the inequalities that express the following conditions for a trip made by the train where the 1. Total number of coaches used was less than 10. 2. Train was pulling at least one first class coach. 3. The number of economy class coaches was more than the number of first class coaches. Then 4. Total number of passengers exceeded 360. Let's go to the first one. Write down the inequality presenting total number. Roman 1. Total number of coaches used was less than 10. That means the coaches of the first class plus the coaches for the economy class should be less than 10. So that one is how we write it. The coaches for the first class presented by X plus the coaches for the economy class, that now give the total number of coaches, and that one should be less than 10. That sum should be less than 10. So that is the first inequality. The second one, Roman 2, train was pulling at least one first class coach. So remember, the number of coaches for the first class is represented by X. So that one should be at least one. At least one means greater than or equal to 1. So therefore, the train was pulling at least one first class coach. We are going to write that one using this inequality. X should be greater than or equal to 1. That is the meaning of at least 1. Greater than or equal to 1. Then 3. Number of economy class coaches, which is represented by Y, was more than means greater than the number of first class coaches, which is represented by X. So that one, this is how we're going to write it. The number of economy class coaches, which is represented by Y, more than means greater than the number of first class coaches, which is represented by X. So that is how we're supposed to write it. Then Roman 4, total number of passengers exceeded 360. Exceeding 360 means should be greater than 360. That is the meaning of exceeded, should be greater than 360. So how do you get the number of passengers? Now let's start with the number of total number of passengers for X coaches. So we have X coaches, then each, that is X coaches for the first class, and each first class coach can hold 72 passengers. So if there are X coaches and each coach can hold 72 passengers, total passengers will be X times 72. So that one represents the total number of passengers in the first class coach. What about economy class? The economy class, we have Y coaches, and each coach can hold 120 passengers. So all the passengers in the economy class coach will be represented by Y times 120, and that sum. Now these are all the passengers, both for first class coaches and economy class coaches. That one should be greater than 360, should exceed, that is greater than 360. So simplify these, we get 72X plus 120Y should be greater than 360. So you can simplify these by dividing everything by 24. You can see all the terms are divisible by 24, and when you do that, this is what you're going to get. So you'll get 3x plus 5y should be greater than 360 divided, this will be 15. So now we have all the inequalities. So the first one is here, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So after doing that, we proceed to the next part of the question. B. Represent the inequalities in A on the grid provided. Now we represent these inequalities on that grid. So we have 4 inequalities, so we are supposed to draw 4 lines. So go to the first one. X plus y is less than 10. So x plus y is less than 10. So the line that you're going to draw here will be x plus y is equals to 10. That is the line. To draw this line, we need at least 2 points. 2 points will work. don't need the third one, is just there for confirmation. So we plot this how we do it. We need to get when x, just be careful when you're picking your values, considering the values for the x axis. You can see the maximum is minimum is 0 and maximum is 10, both for the x and the y axis. So the y-axis, you have number of economy class coaches. The x-axis, you have number of first class coaches. So when x is 0, y will be 10. And when y is 0, when you substitute y with 0 in this equation, you'll get 10 as well. If you take x, those 2 points are okay to draw a line, but you can still use the third one, confirmation of that line. So when x is 5, again, y will be 5. So that is enough to draw that line. We go to the second one. Now the second one is x is greater than or equal to 1. The x is greater than or equal to 1. For this one, the line that you are going to draw is x is equals to 1. And before I forget, this line, you can see less than, this line will be broken, meaning all the points that lie on that line cannot satisfy the inequality. But for this one, you can see greater than or equal to, the line will be continuous, because all the points that will be lying on that line will satisfy the inequality. So we draw that line, x is equals to 1. That one don't need points, we just draw that line. Then we have the third one. The third one is y is greater than x. Y is greater than x. Y is greater than x. The line that you're going to draw here is y is equals to x. You know how to draw that, so you don't need points again to draw that, but you can just have the points if you wish to have them. You can take for instance, is x, this y. When x is 5, y will be 5. 10, 10, 3, 3. You can take any. When you substitute, that is what you get. The fourth one is 3x plus 5y. 3x plus 5y is greater than 15. This line will be, I forget, this line that is here, greater than, this line will be broken. Then this line, greater than again, this one will be broken. So we get the points. So you have x, y. So when x is 0, you substitute 0 in this equation. The line that you're going to draw is 3x plus 5y is equals to 15. So substitute x with 0, you get 3. So when y is 0, you get x as 5. So I don't see any other point that will give me a whole number. The others give decimals, but those 2 points are still okay. You can use those one to draw the line. Now that we have all the points, we go to the first inequality, x plus y is less than 10. We draw that line using the point 0, 10. We're plotting these 0, 10, 10, 0, and 5, 5. So go to the graph. We have 0, 10. 0, 10 is here, 0, 10 is here, then 5, 5, and 10, 0. So these are the points: 0, 10, 5, 5, 10, 0. Join, and don't forget that the line should be broken. That line should be broken. So you draw that line, broken line. So that is the line. So that is the line y, the first one. This is the x plus y is equals to 10. So that is the line. X plus y is equals to 10. We go to the other line. X is greater than or equal to 1. The line you're supposed to draw there is x is equals to 1. X is equals to 1 is the vertical line. That is the vertical line cutting across x is equals to 1. So x is equals to 1 is this line, should be here. So this vertical line, this is the line. That is the line passing through 1. So that is a continuous line, should be continuous. So that is the line. So the line x is equals to, is the line x is equals to 1, continuous. The next one, y is greater than x. The line is y is equals to x. Y is equals to x. So y is equals to x is the line that passes through the center of the axis. Center of the axis. That is between, exactly between the x and the y axis. That is the line. So y is equals to x. Let me show you. So y is equals to x is this line axing exactly between the x and the y axis, exactly between. Y is equals to x. You can take any points. If you can plot 5 5 10 10, y is equals to x, so y is equivalent to the value of x, 3 3 and so on. But you don't need to do that. Just know that y is equals to x is the line that passes exactly between the x and the y axis. Was that? And that line is supposed to be broken. So the line is supposed to be broken. So that is the line. That is the line y. Line y is equals to x. The next one, which is the last one, 3x plus 5y is greater than 15. So you're plotting this 0 3. So let me plot this 0 3 0. And then we have 5 0. Those two are enough. 5 0. 0. So these are the points that you need to join, 0 3 and 5 0 in a straight line. So this is the line, and that line should be broken, so that is the line. Now after doing that, now you have all the lines. So let me write the equation of this line. 3x plus 5y, so this is 3x plus 5y is equals to 15, So now we have all the lines. We have this line, x is equals to 1, we have this line, the 4 lines are there. The next step is to shade the unwanted sides in order to remain with the required region or the feasible region. We're going to start with the first line, which is x plus y is less than 10. So this is the line. So we need to know whether we require to shade on the upper side or the lower side of that line. So how do we do that? This is how we do it. So consider that line, x plus y is less than 10. Pick any point either above that line or below that line. So I'll pick point that is below that line. So on this side, so our line is here, x plus y is equals to 10. So I'm picking, you can pick either a point on this side or the other side. So pick a point on this side. The easiest one to pick is 0 0 0 0. So let me pick 0 0. Then substitute the value of x. X is 0, y is 0. Substitute that in that inequality and see whether it satisfies. So x 0, y 0. So therefore, when you substitute, you get 0 is less than 10. And this is true. 0 is less than 10. So that side where we've picked that point satisfies the inequality. So automatically the other side is the one that is going not going to satisfy that inequality. Can't have two sides satisfying the inequality. So we are going to shade on the upper side of that line. Why? Because the point that you have picked on the other side of that line has satisfied the inequality. And remember, we shade the unwanted sides. So that is the unwanted side. Let's go to the other line. Line number 2, x is greater than or equal to 1. X is greater than or equal to 1 is this line. Greater than 1 lies on this side. So that means this side is the one that is going to satisfy that inequality. Any point that we pick on this side is x is greater than or equal to 1. Any point that we're going to pick, for example, if I pick let's say a point that is here, like 7 0, for instance, 7 0, x is 0, y is 0. So x 7, y is 0. So you can see it is satisfied. 7 is greater than or equal to 1. So that side, the right hand side of that line is going to satisfy. X is greater than or equal to 1. So automatically the left hand side is the unwanted side. So we shade the left side of that line. So let's go to the other line, and the other line is y is greater than x. Y is greater than x. So this is the line, y is greater than x. So we need to know whether we're going to shade on this side, this side or this side. So let me pick a point that is on this side. For example, I'll pick 5 2, point on this side, 5 2. Let us test. So the equation is y is greater than x. So let me pick 5 2, and x is 5, y is 2. Substitute y is 2, and then x is 5. So that one is not satisfying. 2 is not greater than, so this is not true. And we shade the unwanted side, the side that is not going to satisfy the inequality. So since I've picked that point here on this side of the line, that is 5.2, and it has failed to satisfy the inequality when I substituted here, as you can see, then we shade that side, that is the unwanted side. So we shade that. So let me shade these. We shade the unwanted side like that. We need to shade everything here to avoid confusion. So everything there, the whole that side should be shaded. Now after doing that, we are remaining with the last line, which is 3x plus 5y. 3x plus 5y is greater than 15. So again, so this is the line, this is the line. So we want to establish whether this side or this side will satisfy. So let me pick a point on this side, that is 0, 0. I'll pick 0, 0. So 0, 0 like that. So x is 0, y is 0. Substitute it here. X is 0, this will be 0, and this one will be 0. Is greater than 15. So 0 is not greater than 15. So that side does not satisfy, and therefore it is the unwanted side, and it is the one that you're going to shade. So we shade this side of that line. That is the side that you're going to shade. Now after doing that, you can see we are remaining with unshaded region. This is the unshaded region here. This is the unshaded region, and that is called the required or the feasible region. That is how we do it. Let's go to the other part of the question now. Part C. The coaches for the trip were all fully booked. Each first class ticket cost 3,000, while each economy class ticket cost 1,000. Determine the maximum possible amount realized from the sale of the tickets for the trip. So this process of determining the profit, maximum or minimum, is called optimization. And to carry out optimization, we require to have the objective function. Where do we get the objective function? From the information given. The coaches, each first class ticket cost 3,000 shillings. So remember, the number of coaches for first class was represented by X, okay? And then each first class coach was carrying how many passengers? Go back there. Each was carrying, from the first part of the question, it was carrying 72 passengers. Then economy class was carrying 120 passengers. So what you're going to do here, in order to optimize this is what you're going to do to get the profit. The objective function is what you're getting right now. So we have X number of coaches for the first class, and each coach carries 72 passengers, and each passenger, that is for each ticket, pays 3,000 shillings. So that represents the amount of money obtained by the coaches for the first class. That is 3,000. This is 3,000. Plus, for the economy class, we have Y number of coaches. Each coach carries 120 passengers. Each passenger pays 1,000. So now that represents the total amount realized for all the coaches, first class and the economy. So this is what we call the objective function. So this represents P, or the profit, or the amount realized for the sale of the ticket. So when you multiply these out, X times 72 times 3,000, this will give 216,000 X, plus this will give 120,000 Y. This is equal to the amount. So P represents the amount realized for the sale of all the tickets. So after doing that, now we have the objective function. This is what you're going to use to get the amount, the maximum possible or the minimum possible amount. And why do we get that amount? We get that amount from the required region. This region that we have obtained here, the unshaded region, this is where we are going to get the number of economy coaches and the number of first class coaches that are going to give us minimum or maximum profit. or the amount. So the method that you're going to use, you can use several methods. You can use the search line or the inspection method. I will use the inspection method. For the inspection method, you inspect the corner points of the feasible region, the corner points. But in this case, when you look at all the corner points of the feasible region or the required region, they are all lying on broken lines. And therefore, all those points will not satisfy all these inequality. We cannot assume that the corner points are going to give us the correct number of economy class coaches and number of first class coaches, because they are all lying on the broken lines, and all the points that lie on the broken lines will not satisfy them inequality. So therefore we need to get other points here inside. And since the number of coaches both for the first class and economy can't be a fraction or decimals, have to be whole numbers, you're going to use these corners here, must be whole numbers. So let us inspect. You're going to inspect everything. So let me write down the objective function here. So it is 216,000 x plus 120,000 y, 120,000 y. So the first point I'm going to inspect is 23. Let me inspect this one first. 23. So when you substitute this one, get 216,000, then x is 2 plus 120,000, y is 3. So this one is going to give, so this one will give 792,000. The next one we need to inspect is 45. 45 is this point here. Inspect that, 45. So for 45 we have 216,000, x is 4 plus 120,000, y is 5. So this one will give 1,464,000. Okay. The next one you need to inspect is 13. We can pick along this straight line here. We don't need to pick all the points. You can pick the lower one here and the upper one. That will be enough. Don't need to inspect all of them. Just pick the one that is below here on this line, and then another one that is there. So I'll pick 13 here. So substitute this in the objective function, 216,000 1 plus 120,000 3, and this one will give 576,000. So pick the one on the upper side, which is 18. You can pick this one, 18. So 18. So 216,000 1 plus 120,000 8. So this one will give 1,176,000. We can still pick let me see, 2 3. We can still pick along this line here. Along this line here we can pick let's say 2 6. We can, because we've picked 2 3, can pick one on the, or 2 7. Can pick 2 7. We're picking one on the lower side, 2 3. Let's pick 2 7 and see. So 2 7, we have 216,000. This is 2 plus 120,000 7. Let's see the amount here. That is going to give 1,272,000. So we can pick a point here, 3 4 3 4 and 3 6. 3 4 and 3 6. So 3 4, so 216,000. So 3 plus 120,000 4. And then we can also pick that is 3 4. We picked 3 4. Can pick the upper side, 3 6. So we'll give an answer for that, 3 6. So this one will give 216,000 3 plus 120,000 6. So let's work out 3 4. For 3 4 you'll have as 120,000. So that will give 1 million. So this will give 1,128,000. And then for 3 6, plus 120,000, this is a 6. This is going to give 1,368,000. Now all these points are enough now. We need now to consider for the first one, we got 782. This one we got these, so we have 576, we have 1,176, we have these, we have these. So for all these amounts, we require to get the one that will give the maximum possible amount. So which one is giving the biggest or the highest amount? The one giving the highest amount among all these is the one that is here, this one, 1,464,000. This one, and that is 45. 4 meaning number of first class coaches 4, number of economy class coaches 5. So that is the one that is giving. So you're supposed to determine the maximum possible amount realized, and that is what you should do. So you simply take 216,000, then 4 plus 120,005, and this is giving 1,464,000. That is how you get the maximum amount. That one is given by 45.